Ian Book led Notre Dame through one of the most memorable stretches in program history, including an unprecedented 2020 season and one of the best wins in recent memory. In part two of this exclusive interview, Book opens up about that final season, his legacy at Notre Dame, and the current state of the Fighting Irish football program. That's next.
You are Locked On Irish, your daily podcast on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome in. This is Locked On Irish, your daily Notre Dame podcast. My name is Tyler Wojciak, and I'm the host. I graduated from Notre Dame in 2018. Now I'm a producer at Fox Sports, and I've been covering the Irish for the past 5 years. And today is Tuesday, July 22nd. And thank you for making this your first watch or listen of the day, especially on such a special week of the show. Yesterday, we celebrated the 500th episode of Locked On Irish with me as the host. So technically, this is episode 501, but I can't think of a better way to keep it going than with Notre Dame's all-time winningest quarterback, Ian Book. If you have not already, please subscribe to the show on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and leave a rating or review because it really does help out the show. And if you missed part one of our conversation, go check that out. It's available now on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. We covered Ian's recruiting process, his first collegiate start, the 2018 quarterback battle with Brandon Wimbush, and how he led the Irish to the college football playoff in his first year as a starter. Today, in part two, we pick things up with the loss to Clemson and the CFP and dive into the 2019 and 2020 seasons, including the unbelievable game at Georgia in 2019, the legendary double overtime win against Clemson in 2020, all the drama surrounding Phil Jurkovec, and how Ian views his Notre Dame legacy now that he's a few years removed from the program. Then at the end, he shares his thoughts on the current quarterback battle between CJ Carr and Kenny Minchey, plus some insight into the Notre Dame wide receiver room after working out with them this summer. Enjoy. And even though the loss to Clemson in the playoffs stunk, there was so much momentum going into 2019. But man, you guys were tested in week 3 on the road against a Georgia team that had just made it to the national championship 2 years prior. I was at that game, and it is by far the most electric regular season atmosphere I have ever experienced. And the game plan was clearly all on your shoulders. You threw the ball 47 times. You ran it 3 times. You only handed it off to a running back 9 times in that game.
I didn't know that.
Going up against a defense that had pros all over the field. So how was the buildup and preparation different for that game, knowing the magnitude of the moment, and how much was really riding on your performance?
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew it. It's been a while since I've heard those stats. That defensive line was insane. I mean, you can look at, I want to say that roster, everyone got drafted except one person from the Georgia defense. What a brawl. Sucks that we lost, by a touchdown, but game plan was throw that thing to Cole Kmet, and that was working. So we kept doing that. We had a tough time running the ball. We were trying to win the matchup tight end on linebackers and safeties. That was kind of our goal that game, and defense played outstanding as well. And that environment was insane. I remember they did the red light show for the first time, like that. Yeah. So you always hear about playing beneath the hedges at Georgia. So kind of a life goal, and super fun to play there. Bummer we didn't come out on top, but although we lost that one, I think it was cool that like the guys, there was like a little bit of, it sucks losing, but there was a little bit of a feeling like we could have won this game. Kind of lost it ourselves to Georgia, and at the time, like the team to beat. And it gave me a little confidence. Like we're right there. We just got to clean up some small details, and we're there. And we got to start winning those big games, which the guys are doing now. So I'm proud of them.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were 17.5-point dogs, I think, in that game, and you were leading at halftime. So even though it didn't end well and it wasn't the result you wanted, I still think that you guys sent a message with that performance. But was that the craziest road atmosphere you ever played in?
I think so. There, Virginia Tech, and then at Miami was insane. That one didn't quite.
Yeah. At Miami was a little bit more like hostile in the sense of the fans wanted violence.
In terms of like straight loud noise, Miami, Virginia Tech first quarter, Miami, and Georgia. Honestly, that Michigan rain game was very loud as well. Those are probably my top 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's where things kind of fell apart in the 2019 season. It was pouring rain. I was watching on TV, and I was miserable looking at what you guys were dealing with in the weather.
least fun I've ever had was that game.
Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. And I can't even imagine how tough that following week was for you. But in a must-win game against Virginia Tech at home, things weren't going well, but you did lead a dramatic game-winning drive that included a big throw and fourth down conversion to Chase Claypool, and then you ran it in for a touchdown, and then you famously quieted the home crowd. So what was going through your mind as you crossed the goal line there?
I don't know. Do people hate me for that? I don't know.
No, I thought it was pretty funny.
That just happened, man. I think for the first time ever, let some of the outside noise get in. I was pretty damn good at blocking stuff out, man. I didn't see much. I didn't hear much from anyone. When you're the starting QB at Notre Dame, like it comes with it. With all the praise, there comes a lot of hate. I did a really good job of blocking that out, and I think that week, after the loss of Georgia, maybe I just let it get in a little too much, and it was nothing planned. It really just happened. I felt like even Notre Dame was against us a little bit. We weren't playing well. I don't know I think they might have booed us. I don't remember. I get it though. We weren't playing great. I wasn't playing great, but it was more of a reminder, just kind of like, hey, everybody just chill out. We're going to figure it out. We're still trying to find our identity as an offense. And I'm a big part of that. So I was just saying, shh, that's all. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, and it just kind of happened. But I was kind of like, hey, don't praise us now. Like, we're still trying to figure it out. And look, so if a win is a win, and it wasn't pretty, it was cold, but we grinded it out and we won. So you're either with us or you're not. That's kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah, I get that. And I think it's probably fair to say that overall 2019 was a bit of a letdown coming off the playoff appearance the year prior, but you guys finished strong, and heading into 2020, there was a lot of optimism with so many talented and experienced players returning. And then the pandemic hit. So how did you stay locked in and prepare for what was going to be your final season in college while also dealing with the uncertainty that there might not even be a season?
Yeah, super weird, man. I decided to come back for a fifth year. I wanted to make it as close to a professional year as I could to get ready for the NFL. I was a non-degree seeking fifth year. I only had 3 classes. I was gearing up to have the best season of my life so I can get drafted and live out another goal of mine. And then I come back, I post I'm coming back, everything's good, and then boom, March hits. I remember I was in Vegas with some of the guys, and I don't know which break it would have been, but
probably
people were joking
Easter.
about people were joking about this COVID thing, and I was like, what? And then the week later, we're home doing workouts, and we get on a team meeting, and they're like, this thing's real. Everybody stay at home. We're not coming back. We're going to send your workouts, over the Teamworks app. Everybody post your workouts so you're working out. And I was like, this is insane. Is it too late to try to enter the draft now? I was like, this is crazy. So, again, shout out to kind of Notre Dame as a whole and everybody that stuck with the ACC and ended up making the season happen. That was huge for us. And I think once they decided, hey, we're going to do 10 games in the ACC and join a conference, we had a chance to do something that'll probably never be done in history and join a conference once and then be able to go undefeated. And we would have loved to win the ACC championship game, but to go undefeated in the ACC felt good as a team that gets a lot of crap for being independent. So,
yeah. And once the season began, you already alluded to it, you had a chance to go all in, all football all the time, but also limited contact with the outside world. So can you take us through a day in your life during that season while dealing with all the restrictions you guys had to deal with?
I might have a different opinion on it than some because, it was for some, it was a tragic event that, took away a lot of some people's loved ones. And I luckily wasn't affected by it. And for me, the only thing it did for me was allow me to focus on football more because I had nothing else to do. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I was living with one buddy, and I went from there to Chipotle to the facility back. That's it. Those 3, 4, we weren't allowed to go out. Limited distractions. I think it made some people a little stir crazy, but as a leader, I was like, you guys, we got nothing to do but win football games. So take advantage of this because winning football games with Notre Dame class schedule is a lot harder. And right now I'm taking 3 remote classes. My professor was in Ireland. I'm going to take advantage of this. I was with Coach Rees all day. So it was, and I felt the benefits of it. I felt like I was able to have a decent season and being there and damn near felt like I was a coach. So it benefited me, but I am very careful how I say it because I know, it affected so many. But the only thing that was a huge bummer, obviously, was not being able to have our fans there. And once the game starts, you forget. Like I watch some of the film now, I'm like, holy cow, that there was not even half the bowl there. So I forget about that sometimes. But when you're playing, dude, I was just so grateful that we were able to have a season.
We'll be right back with Ian as we go behind the scenes of Notre Dame's double overtime win over Clemson in 2020. But before we get to that, I want to tell you about Game Time. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It is the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time also makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. My favorite part is you can see the view from your seat in the app before you buy, so you know exactly where you'll be. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Yeah, it is weird. I think it was like maybe North Carolina or Boston College where there's no fans in the stands. So that's a little bit weird looking at the highlights later on. But I want to talk about that Clemson game that year. A ton of buildup for that matchup. Number 1 versus number 3 under the lights at home. It was the closest thing to a normal college football game because it looked like there were a lot more people in the crowd for that one than any other game that season. And then on the second play of the game, Kyron Williams takes it 65 yards to the house. What was the energy like on the sidelines after that moment?
Oh, it was insane. I think again, just another reminder, like you only get the chance to host the number 1 team maybe once in your career, depending on who you are. Like the number 1 team's coming to town, like fire up, man. So when he did that, just a huge confidence boost, like we can win this thing. And that game is probably my favorite. Going into overtime, I fumbled going into the end zone. I'm like, wow. And I had a choice to either crumble or just try to forget about it and keep going. And for me, that's one of my favorite games for, getting over that play and being able to stick with it and throw a nice little pass to Avery Davis, go down and get the score. And then we were able to run the ball amazing that game, and it opened everything else up. But that game was fantastic. If that game had a full set of fans, probably be the craziest Notre Dame game in a while.
I mean, even without a full crowd, that game was still insane. How were you able to reset mentally in that moment after you fumbled and lead the team back?
When things like that happen, I just am always in my head. And I know how this goes after experience. So it just takes experience, I think. But when stuff like that happens, you can either keep thinking about it, and it's pretty much a guarantee that it's not going to get better if you think about everything that you did messing up. It's like if you're a quarterback and you drop back thinking about not throwing a pick, you'd be shocked how many times you throw a pick. It's pretty crazy. I've seen it happen myself. I've seen it happen with others. So I learned really quickly at Notre Dame and being a QB, you got 2 options. You either think about it and make life a lot worse, or you just literally forget about it and move on and just do what you've been doing your whole life. And I've taken that into what I do now and how I play now. And just in life in general, like you have the choice to make a decision to move on. And I made that choice. So I didn't do it every time. I try to be the best at it. I try to work on it. It takes consistent work, but I actually remember sitting on the sideline at Clemson, like in my head, like got no choice, either have the worst game ever because I'm just thinking about how I lost the game for the team, or just forget about it and see what happens next. So that's kind of how I deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, the way that you guys bounced back there was incredible. Was there something you said to the huddle or a specific moment that really stands out from those closing minutes and in overtime that fans didn't get to see, but you remember vividly?
It'd be cool to check some mic'd up stuff if we had that game. I'm not sure we did, but I'm pretty sure I talked with Coach Rees on the headset, and he was like, "Forget about it. Let's go. Go tell the guys you're ready." And it's probably something simple. I'm not a huge rah guy, but I imagine I went down there and said, "Hey, look, that was on me. We're moving on here. So are you with me or not?" I'm pretty right to the point, pretty simple. And I think I just took the blame for it because it was my fault. Wasn't holding the ball away the way I should have been. And yeah, the team rallied behind me, man. I couldn't have done anything without them.
So the following week, it's Boston College and your former backup, Phil Jurkovec, with a few added twists. People kept bringing up the 1993 upset to Boston College, which had literally nothing to do with your team. And there was all the outside noise around you and Phil. So, it's been a few years now. How much of that game carried a personal edge for you, especially with some Notre Dame fans who had been pushing the idea that Phil should have been the starter?
I think people were holding more weight on that than I was. I know our defense was fired up to smack Phil around a little bit, but
that was clear. Watching that game back, especially Kyle, I mean, he talked a lot during that game too, Phil, and there was no fans in the crowd, so you could see it and hear it.
Honestly, if you ask most of the Notre Dame guys, none of us hated Phil. Like, we were just giving him a hard time for leaving. We get it. You want to play. Like, people transfer because they want to play. Like, it wasn't mad at Phil. I had no beef with Phil. Fans kind of took that and ran with it. I don't have anything wrong with Phil. I liked him. I spent a lot of time with him. People misinterpreted my Instagram post. A little bad timing on that one. It happened. It is what it is. But, I know the defense was probably thinking about Phil more than I was. So I just wanted to win the game. Definitely didn't want an upset like they had in whatever year that was.
Yeah, I think Donovan Heinisch posted something kind of crazy after the game, but it didn't last that long.
Oh, Kurt?
Kurt. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Kurt. Kurt has the whole
the Pittsburgh connection.
Yeah. So I just think they were like, look, we've been messing with Phil when he's running scout team. Why don't we just do this for real now that he's And they were like, this might work. Let's get in his head. And I respect Phil for standing in there. He took some big shots and he played hard, and he's always been a tough guy. So
yeah, I mean, you might not have had any issue with Phil, but I think in the time since, Phil might have had issue with Notre Dame. But we'll drop that subject. I want to talk about. Yeah, he made that kind of clear on social media as well. So the team finished the regular season unbeaten. You lose to Clemson in the ACC championship, and then ultimately one of the best Alabama teams maybe ever in the college football playoffs. So it wasn't the ending that anyone had hoped for that team and you specifically, but you walked away with more wins than any quarterback in Notre Dame history. What does that record mean to you?
It means a lot. Like I said earlier, winning games is hard. I don't think everybody truly knows that until you're on a football team and see what goes on from the beginning of the year to the end of the season, and how every year is a brand new team starting over. It's hard, man. It's hard to win. It's hard to get everybody on the same page. And just to play this much college football has been a dream. I came to Notre Dame to play and was able to do that, and then to win the games. And then it's just such a team effort. That achievement is great and all, but it also means I was on some really sweet teams. I mean, most of these guys I've played with are now on their second contracts in the NFL. These guys are beasts. It was such a fun time in my life, and I love thinking back on it. I love coming back to Notre Dame, and I love being a part of it. Hopefully we'll see how long it lasts. It's like you want people to beat this record. It's cool. It might not last now with the NIL thing. I might be on my side. But it's cool, man. I never envisioned this happening at Notre Dame for me. I don't even know what I thought. My biggest goal ever was being a D1 quarterback and playing college football. And then I stopped after that. I just didn't know how it would go. And I was so focused on coming here and playing. I'd never thought about being the winningest quarterback and having my name, up there with some of the other quarterbacks that have gone here. It's just nuts. So it's great company, and I'm definitely grateful for it.
That 3-year stretch with 2 appearances to the college football playoff was certainly the peak of Brian Kelly's time at Notre Dame. So you guys are obviously very connected. He's now at LSU, and also your relationship with Tommy Rees. Now he's in the NFL like yourself, but the 3 of you are sort of synonymous with that stretch. But what was your relationship like with Tommy Rees? Because he was a very young coach. I mean, he's still a young coach. He's known to be a hard ass, but it seemed like he was almost like your big brother in a way. It seemed like you guys had a very different relationship than the average coach-player relationship.
Yeah, Tommy was 26 years old when he became the quarterback coach in Notre Dame. So that would be a year younger than I am right now being the coach at ND.
That makes me feel terrible. I'm 29. What the hell am I doing with my life?
So he was a 26-year-old quarterback coach at Notre Dame. He came in, and we clicked early. I realized real quickly that I loved playing for somebody that has been in my shoes and has done exactly what I'm trying to do, 5-7 years before me, whatever it was. So we clicked, and I was just like, I like this guy. And he was more than just a coach to me. He was a mentor. And like when things didn't go well, he's like, hey, I did that too. And I know how to get over it. So here are your options. And I don't know, he's been probably the best coach I've ever had. He's taught me pretty much everything I know. And then he's kind of given me that foundation on how to handle being in the spotlight at Notre Dame. And he told me about his past mistakes. He was very open about it. And he was like, I know how to handle this stuff, man. So we hung out a ton. He was like a big brother, and he was extremely hard on me. And I really appreciate him for that. Like sometimes that brings the best out of players, and it definitely did. So I appreciate him. Like I'd have a day where I was lacking, and he would just be beside himself. Like, I know that you're better than that. And he'd be screaming and yelling, and it brought the best out of me. So I appreciate Tommy, and I stay in touch with him monthly. And I'm hoping he can get me a tryout at the Browns here soon.
When was Tommy Rees the most mad at you?
Gosh, many times in games, but there's a time he got mad at me in meetings one time, and he sent me out. That was pretty embarrassing. As the old guy, as the fifth year, he just sent me out. He just said, honestly, I don't know, without diving into it too much, like he was screaming at me, and I think I was like so in shock about what he was screaming at me. I popped a little grin, and that didn't go well, and he just kicked me out. And he told me to leave, and he told me to like take a lap. I went and got like a case of water for the QBs and came back, and he let me in, but he was pissed. But there was so many times in games he'd scream at me on the phone, and I actually liked it. I don't know, kind of weird. I liked that he was on me, and he was like, pick it up. And then it was nice reminder.
Yeah, when he left to go to Alabama to coach under Nick Saban, I thought, his outbursts, his meltdowns, I mean, like everyone saw the one with Drew Pine where he's saying, do your effing job.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought that was funny though, because I had that many times not caught on. So sorry, Drew.
I know that was tough, but it's really worked out well for him. Now he's the offensive coordinator with the Cleveland Browns. I'm a Browns fan. I hope it works out for him. I'm really rooting for Tommy, but it seems like the Browns are a little bit cursed. Maybe Tommy Rees can change it. Ian and I still have plenty more to get to, including what it means to him to be the winningest quarterback in school history, plus some really interesting insight on the current Notre Dame roster. But first, I've got to tell you about Monarch Money. Do you ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It is a complete financial command center. You could track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. It's so much easier to stay on top of your finances when your accounts and spending are in one place, and that's exactly what you get with Monarch Money. Not only does it help you plan your long-term goals, but I have found it very helpful in managing my day-to-day responsibilities. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKDOWNCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKDOWNCollege for half off your first year. It has been nearly 5 years, which is crazy to say, since your last snap in a Notre Dame uniform, but it seems like you're still close to the program. I mean, you're in South Bend right now. You're also at the Blue and Gold game. Now you're training with some of the current players. So how would you describe your relationship with the program today?
It's awesome, man. I've moved back here with my wife. I am being a mentor for the program. I met with Freeman. He was fantastic, and I just told him, hey, I'm around here. Use me how you want. Got to know all the QBs already. I've got to see them throw, and I'm doing my workouts every single day when they're not in there, so I can squeeze in my workouts. But I'm ready for my next NFL opportunity, and I've done some tryouts, and kind of got to wait for injuries at this point. But this is nothing new for me. I've done this. You got to stay patient, like we talked about earlier. Now I'm staying patient on a different level where I might have to wait like I did last year until December. So I just want to be ready when a team calls, and I will be again, and I'll do that until someone tells me I'm not good enough to play anymore. So I'm here around the program, and I think as things start to run, everyone's on break right now, so it's a little bit different, but I'm also back in town working with my old linemen who now run a real estate private equity group. So I'm working with them while I train. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm doing some marketing things. Like, I'm back in the town, man. I am officially a townie.
Oh my God.
It's cool. I'm working with some of my old linemen who have started a real estate group. So Josh Lugg, Tommy Kramer, Cole Mabry, Liam Eichenberg, who's still playing, but he's technically a partner here, and he'll be joining us when his career's over. But they started a group called the Golden Legacy Team, and the real estate private equity group. So I'm working for them, doing some capital formation stuff and staying busy, learning new skills, throwing the ball around, and getting in my workouts kind of all at the same time.
That's really cool that you guys are all back in at least around the program to some degree. And it feels like that since Marcus Freeman took over as head coach, that has been an emphasis on him to really bring back and kind of leave the door open for all the former Notre Dame players who, not just players who played recently like yourself, but I'm talking guys who played decades ago, like back in the 70s and 60s. So what have your impressions been of Marcus Freeman since you've gotten to know him?
They've been fantastic, man. I had a 30-minute meeting with him when I first got here, my first week, and I told him, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I'm moving back here. You know, instead of going to some random place to work out and finding therapy and some receivers in South Bend, like, is there any way I can? And he was just like, hey, we would love to have you help mentor the QBs. And they have been very welcoming to me being back in the facility and helping out in the ways that I can. And the guys love them. So I'm back in the locker room here and there. And getting to know all the guys. Like, everybody loves Freeman. He's obviously killing it on the recruiting end, but he just seems like he's just a Notre Dame guy, and I love him. And I appreciate how kind of accepting he's been of me, and he wasn't even my coach. And I see him all the time now, and we're buddies, and I appreciate him letting me be back here and continue to stay in shape with the guys that he's trying to win a national championship with.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard, there's also a quarterback competition going on right now between CJ Carr and Kenny Minchey.
I know about it.
Yeah, you've gotten a chance to see him. What stands out about each one of those guys?
Yeah, I've got to know them both. Really good group of quarterbacks, to be honest with you, all of them. I've gotten to see them throw on the player and practices that they're doing, but I have not seen practice yet. Mm-hmm. So really looking forward to camp starting in 2 weeks, and I'll kind of have a better answer for you. But just in terms of throwing the ball, like when I can find some time to go out there and throw with the guys, they both can spin it. Like, these guys don't miss, and that's fun to see. It doesn't happen with every college quarterback, but I'm really impressed with their maturity levels too. Like, especially, I mean, they both are really good, but I just think about like CJ being a year 2 kid, the way he's commanding and running the offense is impressive. And then they both spin it very well. Like, throwing a spiral every single time, you'd be shocked how many quarterbacks can't do that. And these guys can spin the ball, and that helps with accuracy. That helps with everything. And I'm impressed, man. I'm excited for them to battle it out this summer. Maybe there's a way they both play. Maybe one of them takes it over, but they both know, how important this camp is for both of them. So they've asked some great questions, and I try to be the best mentor I can be. And I'm impressed with like how involved they are, because they how involved they are with like me being back. They've asked me some awesome questions. They're eager to learn, and I'm pumped up. In 2 weeks, I'll be out there. I'll be watching a few practices and trying to see how they can put it together in the team reps.
Okay, one more question about the current team, and then we'll wrap it up with some rapid fire ones before we go. You've had a chance to throw to some of the wide receivers on the team. What are your impressions of that group and how they might impact the offense this fall?
I think they're going to be great, man. I think it's like who is going to step up and be the guy, right? Like, I think there were some glimpses last year from a few guys, and they had the opportunity to do that again. But obviously, bringing in Malachi he could be a really good player. I've gotten to throw to him. I'm impressed with his ability. I'm impressed with his leadership. He seems like a mature kid, and he's ready to play. And I think he knows what Notre Dame brings, and he wants to be a part of it. He's all about Notre Dame. So I just think Notre Dame's ready for a 1-2 punch. Why one guy? Let's get 2 guys ready to go. So I think CJ and Kenny would be pumped to have 2 guys ready to go, because running back group's fantastic. O-line's balling. Tight ends are good. If we can get 2 receivers to start popping off, it's going to be a scary offense.
All right, rapid fire time before we head out of here. What is the best part about being the starting quarterback at Notre Dame?
You only pick one. Sorry, I'm trying to be rapid fire here. Best part about being the target on your back for many reasons.
What's the worst part? It could be the same answer.
Yeah, the target on your back for many reasons. I think worst part maybe is like, I don't know, you take all the scrutiny, but to be honest, I liked it. I think it makes you better, but maybe that.
Do you have a favorite play from your playing career? It could be any level.
The throw and catch from Miles is probably my favorite play.
Where was your favorite place to celebrate a win in South Bend?
Probably back at the house. We'd have all the guys over. I'd always have family in town. Everybody would meet up after the game. It would take forever to get out of the locker room, forever to do media. Then you go back and kind of everybody was there. Like, that was my favorite. Lived over on St. Louis Street right off Napoleon, and like just to have family and my roommates and their family all there after the games. That was my favorite place to go.
What's the weirdest interaction you've ever had with a fan?
In an airport. This is brutal. This dude was like adamant that I signed his baby's forehead, and the baby was like maybe 3 months old, with a Sharpie. So I did it.
What airport? Was it South Bend, or were you just out in the world?
I think I was in O'Hare, Chicago. Yeah, you wear that Notre Dame monogram in Chicago, you're gonna get seen.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to hide very much there. All right, last one for you. Who's your favorite teammate that you've ever played with?
Oh, man, that's the hardest question. Dude, there's a couple. Can I name a few?
Yeah, go ahead.
Playing with Kyron Williams, I always tell people, like, in terms of like bringing the juice, he's the most fun I've ever had playing with, especially being in the backfield. Like, I'm right there. He can hear me, and I could sure hear him. That dude talked a lot of shit. He always backed it up. He always picked up his teammates, and just a ball of energy and no shock at all why he's doing so well in the NFL. Like, he's a special player. So I love playing with him. And then kind of in my earlier years, playing with like Mike, McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson, like those guys were rock solid. That offensive line was fantastic. And those guys, the way those guys went to war was fun to watch. Honestly, every O-line I've been with, like the guys I'm working for right now, like Tommy Kramer, Robert Hainsey, those guys were like a well-oiled machine. They always picked me up when I was down. I loved playing with them. And they were just so committed to like never getting me touched. And it was the best feeling in the world. So all my linemen were like the best to play with.
All right, Ian, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and reflect on your journey. It was awesome getting to talk it through with you. You gave Notre Dame fans so many great memories, and you've always represented the school the right way. So best of luck this upcoming NFL season and beyond. I'll be rooting for you every step of the way, man. Thanks again.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, that's a wrap on my interview with Ian Book, and I just want to take a moment to say thank you again for making this your first watch or listen of the day, and thank you to everyone who has tuned in, not only to this episode, but to all the episodes that helped us reach this 500-episode milestone. Whether you've been listening from the very beginning or you just started recently, your support truly means the world to me, and I do not take it for granted. By the time you're watching or listening to this, I'm actually going to be on vacation in France, but I was able to pre-record a few episodes before I left. I'm going to have another episode dropping later this week. The exact day, still TBD, but I can tell you that it's a big recruiting update you are not going to want to miss, so be on the lookout for that. Then I'm going to be back with another episode at the start of next week, previewing Notre Dame's season opener against Miami. In the meantime, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. And if you have not already, please like the video, rate the show 5 stars, and leave a review. It really helps the show more than you know. Thank you again for being part of this journey. Like I said, I'm going to have more episodes coming while I'm away, but once I'm back in the States at the beginning of August, camp will already be underway and we'll be in season mode. Then it's full steam ahead from there. I can't wait. I'll see you soon.